Welcome to a Saturday night edition of Racing here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Lots to get to, lots to kind of recap. But before we touch on the pre-show, we want to get you straight to Pocono here because we've got a highly anticipated matchup between Mickey and Minnie and Chantilly. So we're going to get you live coverage of that right now.
Racers have reached the backstretch, and they are underway in the Lynch, and Chantilly starting very fast, bolts to the front here, out clear by 2.5 lengths early over Mickey and Minnie. Rodeo Drive Dale away third, followed by Time of the Season. Beach Babe in line fifth, then comes Stevie Hanover settling sixth. After that, Allegra Hanover and Millie May Hanover the trailer. And right now it's Chantilly by 2 1/4 over Mickey and Minnie, who draws a bit closer as they round the turn. They get to the quarter in 25-4. Blistering opening number there laid down by Chantilly. She leads by a length. Mickey and Minnie sits the pocket behind her as the 1-2 favorite. Third on the inside, Rodeo Drive Dale. Pace slowing considerably now through the front stretch with no outside pressure on the leader. Fourth is Time of the Season. Next up, Beach Babe. Then comes Stevie Hanover sixth. After that, Allegra Hanover and Millie May Hanover. So nobody venturing to the outside. An uncontested lead at the moment for Chantilly. She reaches the half in 55 even. 29-1 second panel. A serious slowdown there. Now to the backstretch. Chantilly by a length. Mickey and Minnie still tracking there for Dunn. Another length and a quarter back to third, and Rodeo Drive Dale. Pace picking up considerably now. To the outside comes a first over move from Stevie Hanover. She goes past Time of the Season. Also on the outside, Allegra Hanover showing pace. Further back to Beach Babe and the trailer, Millie May Hanover. And now Mickey and Minnie pulls the pocket. 3/4, 122-1, 27-1 third panel. Chantilly there by 3 parts of a length. Mickey and Minnie goes back in now to take some more cover. Further back to Rodeo Drive Dale. Time of the Season is fourth. Top of the stretch, Chantilly leads by a length and a half. McDonald starts to ask. Mickey and Minnie coming up on the outside. Mickey and Minnie with the momentum. Chantilly trying to hold. Mickey and Minnie takes over at the very end. Mickey and Minnie just up wins the showdown there for Dexter Dunn. Looks like Chantilly held on for second. Rodeo Drive Dale third. Time of the Season was fourth. Mickey and Minnie gets it done in 149 1/5 in the Lynch.
All right, well, there's the matchup that we were all anticipating. I know, obviously selfishly, kind of a bias. We were hoping that Chantilly could get the job done there, but it looked like James kind of put her away, though, Randy, in that spot. But Mickey and Minnie, listen, we know she's a special filly herself, and she proved it tonight, this afternoon.
She did race very, very well, but I'm still I'm shocked that the Chantilly, there was no real fight on the end of it. It just kind of, she come onto the track, she looked amazing dancing around, she looked good going out of there, all of it, but she had no answers for that other filly, and I just don't think that she should have let that other one go by her quite that easy. You know what I mean? So who knows? Maybe she's still dealing with some things, or maybe it's just a simple case that they finally, met these two, and Mickey and Minnie's the stronger one.
Yeah, Mickey and Minnie working out a pretty good trip, but again, premature pull by Dex, or what it seemed like a premature pull.
Very much.
And still having to go back in and braven up again and come back and look pretty convincing to me. So a great effort by Mickey and Minnie, and I think we got to give the edge to her now.
Right now,
yep.
The edge goes to Mickey and Minnie, no doubt about it.
All right, so there's our action. There's our recap there of the Pocono race. We got the head-to-head matchup we were hoping for, but earlier on, just a few moments before, we got some King's Plate action. And how about Pietro Moran getting the job done there with Mancetti, 18-1. Kevin Attard trainee going gate to wire in that effort. So took advantage of the rail position and was able to just go all the way, Randy. A really nice performance.
Really, really nice performances, right? And he obviously, he rode a great race. You don't often see this race, go uncontested wire to wire and then with a victory, and that. Now, you and Chad were talking a little bit earlier about the 6-horse being checked a couple of times, and he had Patrick Husband had live mount on the end of it.
Yeah, another Kevin Attard trainee as well, and that horse looked like it had some go, but let's not take anything away from Mancetti. Just a really, really cool moment for Pietro Moran as well. I want to say, I don't know for sure, but I want to say he might be an apprentice jockey, but he's the leading jockey at Woodbine. Mm-hmm. So he's having a heck of a year, and he's able to cap it off with a memorable performance there. I mean, you could just see how happy he is. Just a young guy. I can't imagine what it's like being in that moment.
No, I mean, would you say he's like 20 or 21? Yeah, well, I can't imagine being in that moment either at that age, when I was 20, I was acting like I was 12. So probably would have been a bad scene. Nice big winter circle there, though. It was a good day. They had beautiful weather for it, and looked like they had a real good crowd there today too, John.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of publicity on No Time. I believe the filly in that event just didn't have as much pop late in the stretch, but again, Mancetti, Kevin Artar trainee, Pietro Moran capturing the 166th edition of the King's Plate. So congratulations to them and all the connections getting the job done. But just lots of kind of recap, right? Because we just fresh off that stretch drive with Mickey and Minnie and
we have
Chantilly.
a few more to go at Pocono.
We've got some more that we're going to highlight at Pocono. I think we've got the Delmonica, we've got the Hempt, and we've got the Beal. So we've still got some big stakes events going on. James having a couple wins on the card, though. Unfortunate for Light Up the World. Another break on the small track, no less.
Yeah, just clay track to boot.
Never looked comfortable.
Yeah,
never did.
Really weird.
Yeah.
Really weird.
But at Red Mile, he looked super.
Yeah.
Closing to be second last time out to a Sippin' on C-Rock. Today, just, again, never looked comfortable. And I thought Chantilly looked sharp out there, to your point, again, just getting beat. And James still having a couple of opportunities to pick up some wins. Conversano, he's going to drive that filly again. Captain Optimistic. So he's still got some opportunities to add a couple of wins. But I'm sure that was the one that he wanted the most on that particular day.
I would have to think so, yeah. But listen, she's still,
absolutely.
She's still Chantilly. Mm-hmm. She's still a great filly. And just because the score is 1-0 for Mickey and Minnie, let's say, put it that way, doesn't mean that it's over for the year.
Nope.
We've got the Breeders' Crown coming up. Maybe she might be able to turn the tables on her foe. But either way, they're both really nice fillies, and I can't wait to see the next hookup between the two of them.
I just love the buzz that it created for the sport,
too.
Right? I had thoroughbred guys kind of saying, "Hey, I'm going to tune into Pocono to watch this matchup."
Yeah.
That just goes to show the buzz that those two fillies were showing, leading up to their highly anticipated matchup. And some people said, even with all the stakes engagements going on, they labeled it as one of the races of the day.
Yeah.
That's big time pub, right? That's something that we love. We love when we can market our stars, and that's what we have with those two fillies. Similar to what we had in Sylvia Hanover and Twinbee Joe Fresh, but we've seen that carry over to their age careers now.
Mm-hmm.
So to see these two fillies kind of be able to match up today, and hopefully we can get a few more editions of that.
Yeah, that would be nice to see them carry that on. Going to be an interesting 4-year-old year if Sylvia and Twinbee Joe, if they come back, and we got these ones moving in against them. Yep. It's going to be quite an interesting little division. The older pacing mares.
Yeah, big time. And okay, so we'll highlight the action coming up at Pocono, but we're going to touch on some track plays from yesterday's program. And when we see that graphic up on screen, we will kind of just talk about what we've seen. And again, kind of more or less the same too, right? A lot of ones on that page by the half, a lot of 1s and 2s, just kind of ho-hum.
It's always weird. You ever notice that when you come to the 10th race, that's usually the one where the horse is furthest back? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then he ends up, with the win, whatever. It's like the only race that seems like they can make ground up that. Other than that, it's better than it normally is, but it's still, they need to get a little bit further back than 5th.
And I'll tell you what, that filly in the last race, Always Dawn, she earned it the hard way, right?
She
going
did.
First over, getting away 5th, going first up. So able to go by her stablemate late in the stretch. But how about the one who flew from way in the back? That graphic would look a lot different if out of this world Dale got the job done. She flew home to be second at a pretty big number. She was awesome.
Couple of times too. There's a horse racing tonight called Dow's Up.
Yep.
Imagine if he'd have got the job done, because he'd have come right from dead last. The horse of Travis Collins tonight, he almost gets the job done. Blast of Sunshine.
I think that's on Monday night's program.
Is that Monday?
Yeah.
See, it's the problem when you start to do all your
all
picks together.
Yeah.
It just seems like they all bleed into one another.
But they all did race well, those horses, and ones that we're looking forward to.
So we could have
see.
some further back numbers. We're just kind of falling a little bit short right now.
Yeah, we've got some horses that might be able to capitalize from some off the pace trips here tonight. But an interesting program, I'd say, on the Saturday night. You know what I mean? We've got some drivers out of town. I think that's important, obviously, to highlight. Not just the drivers that are participating at or competing at Pocono. Louis and James are there. Bob and is it just Bob locally? Bob and Billy Davis, PEI for the Gold Cup and Saucer. Got a lot of guys.
JD and KD, you say?
Yep, JD and KD, and some other guys too. We've got, I think, Todd Ratchford's there.
Todd Ratchford was at Hanover today, and then probably heading to Kawartha. He's a busy boy.
There's a couple other locals, I think.
Travis Henry, maybe?
Tyler Jones is there, I believe. So, yeah, like, I mean, grassroots action going on, and Doug Brown having a nice slate there, and he's driving some, Tony Beaton trainees as well. So,
nice.
Getting
good luck, captain.
Nice card there at Kawartha as well.
Travis Henry's here tonight.
He'll be here.
He was in Hanover earlier, though.
Yeah, I think Scott Young at is it Scott Young at Kawartha as well. So yeah, a lot of our driving colony as well there, but we've still got plenty of familiar faces here that are going to be competing on this 11 pack that we have to offer tonight. And speaking of which, let's dig into the replays that we want to highlight for tonight. So we'll go straight into race number 1. This guarantees the early pick 5 here at $75,000, and we've got a field of 9. And there's, I think some fillies that are coming off some colts, I should say, coming off some pretty good efforts in in their starts prior. Ticket Station being one of them. Jody Jamieson engineering the steer on the son of Bulldog Hanover. A nice victory there at Grand River. He's going to opt to his dad's colt, Man Destiny, from the far outside, but there's one that you like here that's going to provide some value here, currently sitting at 12-1. That's Full of Colors. You liked this guy's effort last time out.
I liked his last effort. We're going to show that replay. I think that the 6-horse Ticket Station that I got in for second, the 4-horse Call Sign Rooster that I got in for third, and Carl's horse, Man Destiny, even from the outside, though, I think all those horses are going to take more action than what I'm going to put on here for the 7-horse Full of Colors coming out of Chantal Mitchell Barn. But I liked the way that he raced in his last start. Louis Waugh, as John said, is down in Pocono. I think Tyler Boer's picking himself up a rather live drive. So let's roll this and take a look at Full Colors. This is a gray Sweet Lou 2-year-old here, John, out of a Mr. Wiggles mare. Kind of all new, like fairly newish breeding on this guy. Sweet Lou out of a Mr. Wiggles mare. So, good effort, I thought, was here. He had to race him pretty hard to get him into this spot. Full of Colors, he took a bad interference at the half. Really took a bad one. He is going to lose a little bit of ground here, you're going to see. But like I said, the interference that he took at the half and the fact that he was at the half in 56 and change, I think he's going to be better in here tonight. I'm going to play him strictly for the value of him, John. So Full of Colors is going to be the way I go.
And if you want to go back to the qualifying effort before his career debut, he was gaining on Ticket Station, who ended up being a winner and has a nice line there at Grand River. But good draw to work with, lots of positives for this Jack Darling trainee. But I think one that could be is going to be a big time player. But I think that there's some other ones that merit a lot of respect. Even a horse like Call Sign Rooster, to your point, he lost to illicit behavior, and that's a colt who we know has wicked speed. He was just no match for that big brush move that the Sean Stacey trainee made.
But gained back up on him.
Gained back up on him again, exactly. I mean, he's just he's a blur, is illicit behavior, right?
The one that scares me the most is the outside horse, and the only reason I put him in for 4th was because he draws the outside and has only had the 2 starts back. I'm just not sure if Jody's going to fire him out of there. If he fires him out of there, I think that the 9-horse is going to be real tough to take down.
Yeah, qualifier that I liked on July 18th. Worked out a pretty good trip on the 25th. Wasn't able to get there. One that definitely wouldn't surprise me if he put forth a pretty good effort. There's our look at race number 1, and we're going to skip over to race number 2. And we've got a preferred here, and we've got a nice group, a field of 6 though, Randy, but highlighted by a pair of Dave Maneri trainees and a couple of changes. He's going to let out the hopples on a couple of his big boys here, Irvin Hanover and Brew Hanover. We see that with a couple of other rivals later on in the program that he trains as well. So he's going to be loosening them up, bringing them out a little bit as well. Irvin Hanover getting the job done over Brew Hanover last time out. Are you going to go back to Irvin in this spot?
1-2 is the way I'm going. 62 to 63 inches. Boy, 63-inch hobble on both of these guys. That's about as long as what you're going to see for pretty well any horse. A 60-inch hobble is a big hobble. So, moving from 62 to 63, they got a lot of pants to work with, these two. So, Irvin Hanover, we're going to show you that replay, John. Good first over effort. Missed some time. His last race before that was down in Saratoga, but a good effort. Either way, he's kind of come back just at the right time. See, Brew Hanover, already 17 starts this season. This guy with 8. I think we're kind of starting to come into the Irvin Hanover time of the season. So I thought, Brew had everything on his own way last week. To me, no real excuses. But here comes Irvin Hanover, just another great horse that comes out of Maneri's camp, and he's going to do it the hard way, and he's going to wear this other guy down. For a long time, we have not seen anybody be able to get to this guy. He wears him down, and on the run out, the further it goes, the bigger the margin becomes, as you can see. So I'm going to go Irvin Hanover, Tarasi in for third, Dublin Dasher in for fourth. And what's your thoughts on the 6 horse?
I really like this horse. I just don't think he's ready to step up
Agreed.
tonight against
Agreed.
a group like this. Really fast racehorse. This is a new purchase for Ben Bergeron and company. I think this is we've seen in the past them have success, buying some Tony Alagna trainees. So this is one I
Trotters
think,
and pacers.
Exactly. So this is one I think that's got a lot of speed. We've seen him get the job done here on the this track when he was a 2-year-old, I believe it was, getting the job done at going some quick miles. So
Winning is one of the favorites in the Metro.
yeah, I think one that was always taking some heavy support. I know Phil guided him to a Grand Circuit victory here. I can't remember, getting the job done. So a horse that I think is probably going to need a few starts to get himself acclimated. But he has taken on good company. But I want to take a wait-and-see approach tonight. But I went to Dublin Dasher, hoping to maybe get some value. He seems to be inching closer to a big effort against this group. But no denying the Dave Maneri trainees are going to be awfully tough to beat in this spot.
Yeah, especially with an extra inch of hobble to work with.
Yes,
too.
we're going to move on to race number 4 here on this program. And speaking of preferreds, we're going to go back to another preferred, this time the Fillies and Mares edition here. And we've got a field of 7 and, again, a couple of Dave Maneri trainees who put forth great efforts. I mean, they rounded out the exacta last time out, finishing 1-2 in the spotlight in Style for a Mile, a hard-charging second for a Style for a Mile. Caviar and Cracker, she's going to be installed as the morning line favorite, deservedly so. She's got bounce-back potential, but you're going to go with one who's got class and is stepping up again tonight.
Yeah, she's a bit of a mystery right now,
Yeah.
don't you find? Tells on a roll is the way that I'm going to go in here. And the biggest reason why is it seemed like she went through a little bit of a lull, and I'm not saying that her form is spot on right now. We've seen her maybe in a little bit better form, but the form is good, and it seems to me like she's kind of going through another phase where the form is getting a little bit better. Now, if you go way down to July the 12th when she has this win here, it was an incredibly well win. And I understand that it was only non-winners of 9,000, and she got a perfect 2-hole trip, but it's the way she exploded when she got the free air, and you can see 26 and change, and I mean, he never asked her to pace a lick. So with this spot that she's in here tonight, I think that if he decides to step on the gas going out of there, because Tells on a Roll does have a good foot leaving the gate, if he comes out of there, I think the worst case scenario, he's going to fall right on the 6 horse in the spotlight's back, and that's kind of what I'm going with. I'm going to put in the spotlight down as the in for second. Tells on a Roll. We're going to show you this replay of her last start. I'm going to put her in for on the top, and Caviar and Crackers, who a lot of people are going to be using her up on top this week, I'm going to throw her in for third. So again, this is kind of more or less the trip that I guess you could say I'm looking for. This one right here, in the 2-hole on Tells on a Roll. That was from August the 8th, this last start. So she's going to get beat 3/4 of a length. She's not going to be able to beat She's Got It All, but She's Got It All, when she's on her game, she's pretty tough too. She can go right to the top class and get the job done, and she does get the job done in this one, in this race as well. You can see Travis, he's just not going to be able to get right to her. The battle of the Travis is right here at the end, but she doesn't give up. She keeps coming forward, and I'm going to take a chance with her in here tonight.
Yeah, we know she's got the class though, right? You just needed to kind of show up here tonight. But it used to be a mare where you could basically do whatever you wanted with her. She just hasn't been at that point over her last several starts. But if she does get there, I mean, she can compete with these on her best days without a doubt. But you're going to get a price. So you're backing her in this spot, and you're going to hope that class can kind of prevail. And you're going to get rewarded for it if that's the case. Caviar and Crackers, though, she only got beat by half a length. That's a mare who can easily bounce back and put forth another winning try, no?
No, absolutely. And he's even in a spot here tonight there where he can maybe come out of there a little bit with her, because sometimes, when he draws the middle, he doesn't just go to the back like we normally see. But if he does go to the back, then I think that it's gonna put Travis in a good spot, because they could potentially walk this to the half.
And I'm going with a Style for a Mile. I'm hoping maybe either she can work out a nice trip, or maybe she can get away a little bit closer. Her gait has been a little bit tricky, the last few starts. So she hasn't really been able to be too keen on leaving out of there. And
yeah. Do you think you can get that number? Last week she was 30-1.
No, we're not going to get anything close to that. No,
I don't think so
not
either. But I bet you can get a good number.
I think you'll get a solid number, but I think she's going to garner a lot of respect tonight for good reason off that effort. Okay, we touched on that. We're going to be highlighting some of those other stakes events at Pocono. We're going to take you there right now as we preview the Del Monica.
The starter has called the 3-year-old trotting fillies to the gate for today's 11th race at Pocono. This is the Delmonica Hanover Trot with a purse of $250,000. And around the turn they go. The Trotters have reached the back stretch, and they are underway. On the inside, both Hangover and Conversano away well. Yotilli far outside moving up also. Conversano a slight lead. Delaney Hanover getting into the mix in between horses. Then at the pylons, Our Charm is fifth, followed by Teresi and the trailer El Nightwish. They're all kinds of bunched up front. Slight edge now for Delaney Hanover. Yotilli coming up right behind her. Contested pace. You had Our Charm break stride there as they hit the quarter 27-2. So now on the outside, there's Yotilli, 2-5 favorite, trying to get all the way past Delaney Hanover, and she will work her way past for Todd McCarthy. Conversano sitting third for McDonald, about 2.5 away. Next up on the inside is Hangover as they head towards the turn. Teresi fifth, then El Nightwish, Our Charm back on stride, but too far back to get into the mix here. Yotilli on top by a length over Delaney Hanover. They're at the half now, 55-4, 28-2. Second panel into the wind there. Now on the backstretch with the wind helping them out. The lead is a length for Yotilli. Todd McCarthy not asking for much at the moment. In the pocket, Delaney Hanover. Conversano going to come first over for McDonald. She's within 2 and moving up. Hangover caught that live cover. Inside, Teresi fifth, about 4.5 away. A gap to El Nightwish, way back to Our Charm. So now Conversano trying to reel in Yotilli, who hits the 3/4 mile marker, 1:23-2, 27-3 third panel. Up front, Yotilli. Conversano continues to get a bit closer in the pocket. Delaney Hanover hoping for another move. Hangover getting ready to spin off the cover out wide. Top of the stretch, Yotilli by 3 parts of a length. Conversano on the outside. Delaney Hanover on the inside. Yotilli still there. Delaney Hanover getting a bit closer. Yotilli does not want to give up that lead. Yotilli remains unbeaten this year and wins the Delmonica Hanover by a long neck. Delaney Hanover, second photo for the show between Hangover and Teresi. Yotilli and Todd McCarthy, 151-2.
All right, there's a live look there at the Delmonica. Yotilli, just continuing to rack up the wins. Faced a pretty good group there in that spot. Again, just confident handling from Todd McCarthy. You could see just no hurry to make front. Wanted to be the last one there. Race was over.
It's twice now I've seen her going into the last turn there, and she heads into the last turn, and her ears come straight forward. Like she's just a naturally gifted athlete.
She was. Nice run-up finish for Delaney Hanover. Scott Zeron showing some gate speed tonight with that Lucas Wallen trainee. Just not enough to beat Yotilli. Yotilli's just she's just better than them right now.
She is. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that.
All right, so we'll continue to show the action. We've got the Hempt as well as the Beal coming up momentarily, but we're going to go to race number 6 here, which kicks off the late pick 5 here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. We've got a field of 6, and we've got a pop-up series here. Non-owners of 50,000 and 2025. We've got a field of 6 in this spot. Morning line favorite is going to be the 5-horse JK Black Gold. Did we get a hopple adjustment on this guy too tonight?
No, we got a shoe-in adjustment or a shoe-in change on this guy. He's going to go from steel to aluminum in front, so he's putting the Nikes on him.
A couple of sharp rivals, though, and one being Uncle Shank. He's looking to make it 3 in a row. Is that the direction that you went?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's sharp.
That way he is, and that's why we're going to show you this replay. It's not the matter that you can't read the program yourself and see that he went wire to wire and winning. It's the way that he did it. And he's going to, there's some nice horses in here. They're going to get at him. Bold Spirit, Control the Power. He's going to. Doesn't have to face either one of those two tonight, but still, I thought it was a good effort, and I like the way that Trevor right now. Trevor seems to, he's sticking close to this guy, and he's racing him. So obviously the horse is in good form. This is going to, it's going to narrow down a little bit, but I don't really think at any point it seemed like, he was in any kind of a trouble with the horse. You know, so I think he can come right back and go another big one here. You know, Trevor shuts it down there, so he gets a little bit closer, but at no point was it a threat. So I'm going to go Uncle Shank, John.
Hard charging second there nice second, I should say, by Bold Spirit.
Very
he tried
nice
to gain, and which he did, just ran out of racetrack. But again, Uncle Shank, he's really sharp, and we know what kind of horse he's capable of being when he's on his game.
And we know what kind of a trip we can get.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to manufacture one. He can just go to the front, and that's that.
Big time. Some other classy rivals in the spot, though. I tell you, Cold Creek Queso, I thought won that race good too back on July 26th. Just the trip scenario didn't work out, and he was no match for the other rivals in that spot. Want to be a big star, though. He's one that needs a trip, but I thought he raced well, even though he wasn't within the vicinity.
Yeah, that's, want to be a big star. I agree with you. I got him in for third, and JK Black Gold in for second, and Cold Creek Queso in for fourth.
All right, so you're going to go Uncle Shank. I'm going to go JK Black Gold as we kick off the late. That kicks off the late pick 5. We're going to move on to race number 7 on this program, and we've got a nice group here, a field of 9. We've got a mix of some older rivals as well as some 3-year-olds, and Control Rocks, the morning line favorite, coming off a track record performance at Grand River there in his gold try. This is a sharp colt right now. I mean, this guy's just racing really, really well. 11 starts, 5 wins, and just looking for 4 in a row. But there's some other horses here, some aged rivals who've got some speed themselves. And one draws to the outside, one draws to the inside. I went to Highland Beach Lover, looking to go back into the winner's circle, hoping maybe he can bottom out this group. But the horse on the outside, Pacino Hanover, I'm not sure what trip he's going to get. He might be the fastest of them all, though.
I think he's the fastest of them all. You know what I mean? I went Pacino Hanover, Highland Beach Lover in for third, and I threw Nazaire in for second. I'm kind of hoping that, he kind of starts to fire back up. I didn't use any of the 3-year-olds, John.
No? Okay.
No, I like the way the Control the Rocks is racing, but I mean, that was a huge effort last week. All age track record at Grand River, and he's going to come back and want to race them the same way. Yeah. I'm not saying that they can't win off of a trip, but I'm just going to give them a pass and kind of concentrate on the older guys.
I don't disagree with you.
The way I'm going to go in here. Which way did you say you're going?
I went Highland Beach Lover, but I'm with you. I have no issues picking 3-year-olds against older rivals, but I think if they maybe lay over the group in terms of speed, I don't know if I can't say Control Rocks lays over them on his best day in terms of from a speed standpoint. I think he's good. I just think there's some other ones that can carry that speed a long way as well.
I agree. So let's take a look at this replay of Pacino Hanover. He has the 9-hole to work with in here tonight. The big thing is you've kind of alluded to tonight on saying, what kind of a trip are we going to get? If he fires him out of there, I say that, it could be over right at that point. If he goes to the back, I've seen him race pretty good from off the pace too. So it's whatever he kind of decides in here. Highland Beach Lover looked fantastic last week, you know what I mean? But he had the 6-hole. I mean, that's a huge fire from the middle of the gate. He's going to have to do it from the 2-hole. Might be a little bit tougher for him to get out there and grab control right off the bat. Pacino Hanover has the 9-hole, but that's going to give him the swing of the gate. So I think if he wants to come out of there, I got a feeling that him and Dougie are going to be heading into the turn basically head to head if they both decide to go on out of there. Hopefully, Travis is able to find a spot and then kind of go from there. But, Highland Beach Lover, down the road effort in his last, 49-1. Fifth of a second from his lifetime mark, and then picks up McNair tonight.
Yeah, when he's sharp, he's sharp.
And picking up this guy, because we know Dougie, he'll race one in front.
He'll want, especially coming off an effort like that. You have to figure Doug's going to be aggressive with this guy. But Pacino Hanover is going to look to do something we haven't really seen from him when he draws outside on the big track. He's never really left out hard.
Not hard.
So we've never seen that. I put him in for second because I know he's got speed and ability in here. I just can't really expect him to be leaving out aggressively just because we haven't seen it. That's not to say he can't, but it's hard to just assume that's going to be the case. But again, if it shakes out for him, look out, because even though he was 6th, you saw the way he was moving at the end of it.
Yeah, I'll assume it. I'll take it for us both.
I would not mind that one whatsoever. I'm going to use him on my multi-leg wagers as well and hope that he can work out a pretty good trip. There's our thoughts on race number 7. We're going to move on to race number 8, and I know there's a couple of fillies in here that you spoke highly of last night, Randy. One that you like probably a little bit more, and that's Macapello Sealster. But Lady Cafe Olay, that's one who you say is not too far behind the Peter Brickman trainee.
I find that there's, maybe a fifth of a second separating the two of them. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep going Macapello Sealster. I just think that she is so close to a gold. Her last start at Dresden, you can see what she's done since they've moved her down into the grassroots. I mean, look at her grassroots races there. I mean, she finished third in the first one. She win her next one here. Then she goes to Dresden. She annihilates them there. She really is going to be tough for the ones that were in the grassroots with this one coming down. But let's take a look at the July the 26th replay with her. She's going to finish third in here, but take a real good look at the two horses that she finishes third too. That's going to be Artie's Money and the Breather filly, Laneside in Control. Both of them, one a 5-year-old, one a 4-year-old. This one only 3 years old, and she finishes a good, in my opinion, real good third. You can see Tyler right now, shoulders back. She's kind of a lazy one, so I think that anytime you see Tyler taking a heavy hold of her, she is really, really racing well. And, again, comes up what I think anyway is a decent kind of a third in here against these two fillies, a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old that she had to compete against in there. She's got away from them two older fillies. Went to the straight 3-year-olds at Dresden, absolutely annihilated them. Had Tricky Wiki in there, pretty nice 3-year-old grassroots filly as well, but no match for Macapella Sealster. Now she moves right back in against straight 3-year-olds, grassroots starters. Ship it.
I completely agree in terms of her ability and the chances of her getting the job done. I'm going to try and take a shot with a horse, a filly who was in that same race. I'm not sure if Producer Ryan, if we can cue up that replay one more time, because I'd love to highlight a rival who was in that same race, Randy. So I'm glad you highlighted that replay on Macapello Sealster. She's going to be tough to beat, I think, if she's on the lead, though.
All my wishes.
That's the one.
I got her in for third.
Yeah, she's, talk about a filly who left out aggressively and took a little bit of a shuffle, but Tyler, his body language and his shoulders were back. How about Travis Cullen looking for room too? He was over other, rivals' helmets there as well. So I thought she had some go there late in the stretch. You could see he goes to the outside there to find a seam, no seam there. He's right up behind Travis Henry's helmet, and he's going to go right behind Tyler Borth's helmet there too. So that's a filly who's coming into that effort pretty sharp. She followed that up with a win at Dresden. So a couple of our top selections, Randy, coming off big wins at Dresden. And I think Macapello Sealster is going to have the edge, though, because I think that she's probably going to want front. I think that Tyler's going to, probably get her there because we've seen that so often.
Yeah.
She might be tough to catch, though.
So you went 2. I went 7. What did you do with 3?
I put the 3, I think, in for 4th.
4th?
Yeah.
I threw her in for 2nd. I think that Jody's picking himself up a very, very live drive. And this is another one. Since they've taken her away from the golds, moved her into grassroots, she's just a completely different horse as long as the trip isn't just a little too taxing.
What do you make of Forever After All, though? This is a filly who's stringing together victories. The last couple of tries, not too inspiring.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. The first one I could give her a pass. Vet scratch sick, comes back, misses, pretty substantial time, almost 3 weeks, and they try a, middle chop and just didn't work out. Now, last week I thought she'd be coming absolutely loaded for bear, but just didn't really seem like she had her game face on. I threw her in on the bottom because I haven't quite forgot about her yet, and she's picking up McNair tonight, but I don't look at her as a real win candidate right now.
A nice group here, 3-year-old fillies, grassroots starter class, but again, fillies who, when they're on their A game, won't be top players at the gold level, but they'll be, fringe players, maybe even middle of the pack players, but a nice group of fillies here.
Yeah, absolutely. Real deep race
all right.
8.
There's our recap there of some of our replays that we've highlighted on this evening's program. We're going to talk some multi-leg wagers. We do have a pick 6 carryover, so we'll touch pick 6 later on in the program, or maybe in the next topic bar, actually. But pick 5 kicks things off. You've got one single in race number 3. I'm in agreement with you on that one, Randy, because I do think that One Last Wish is going to be tough to beat.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Jody's picked himself up some pretty live drives. I think this one's live. I think Lady Cafe Olay was going to be live for him a little bit later on, but she is going to be my single in this sequence. I went fairly light. It's going to be $24 for a buck in here. So in race number 1, I go 4, 6, and 7. If the 7 does get down, I think that it's going to knock a lot of people out in there, but I do back myself up with the 4 and the 6. I maybe should have threw Jody's horse in there, but he has had some time off, and I just don't know if tonight they're just going to want to bust him out of the 9 hole or not. So a little bit of a mystery there for me. Race number 2, I go 1-2, Irvin Hanover and Brew Hanover, single in race number 3 with One Last Wish. Race number 4, I'm going to go Tells on a Roll, and I'm going to go In the Spotlight in there as well. And then in race number 5, Silver Walls and Blue Bar.
Tough race there.
Sequence.
The late one, or the last leg, I should say. I think that's a little bit of a tricky sequence. I could make the case for a handful of rivals there, but I'm in agreement with you in the. I went one single as well. We singled the same horse. One Last Wish. I think she's going to be tough to beat based off her class. She should get the job done, I figure, in that spot. Two logicals in the opener. Call Sign Rooster, Ticket Station. Race 4, we kind of differ there a little bit, as well as race 2. I used one of the two Dave Maneri trainees. I opted to go Irvin. I'm going to throw Dublin Dasher in there. If he can work out a good trip, like I said, I think he's inching closer to a victory here at this preferred level. Race 4, I went to who was it? Style for a Mile, as well as Caviar and Crackers. Both mares coming off some good efforts, but I think you could make the case for a few others in there. In race 5, I used the same two as you, but I also added SOS Sports Bet. He was chasing some good ones there, right? All-Star Maniac, Sterling Choice, Gold Caliber horses. He tried the Gold in his most recent. I thought he held his own in there. Yeah. So maybe he can put forth a winning try if he's able to work out a good trip. But, I mean, what do you make of a horse like D.A. Loveboat, who worked out a tough trip? You could give him an excuse, but outside draw to work with, I opted to just throw him out in this spot.
Yeah, that's kind of what's the same as me in that situation. You know, I mean, he did race good and everything, but, you know, he hasn't been exactly lighting things up and with an outside post. Yeah. I'm not really sure if they're just going to want to bomb him out of there either. Some of these horses, you know, they got to give them a little bit of a break and try to get some confidence back into them. The
one we're intrigued with, though, Century Lucifer, we didn't use, but we're intrigued with that one. Nice qualifying effort gearing up to this start.
I hope I didn't miss him.
Yeah, and there's your pick 6 ticket, a carryover here, a nice just shy of $8,000. You're going to go all in race number 6, so a race that you also find to be pretty competitive. Let's go through your ticket.
Okay, so starting in race number 4, we go Okay, 2-4 Tells on a Roll and Caviar and Crackers. Race 5, Silver Walls. I'm going to go with him on to Blue Bar, throwing him in there. And then this race number 6, I'm going to all it. Like, I like Uncle Shank. I think he can repeat, but there's a couple of other ones that I like in here as well, you know what I mean? And a couple of them have a lot of back class, and they seem like they're starting to get into a good form, as in a Cold Creek Queso. Mm-hmm. So going to go kind of deep in race number 6 with the all button. 7th race, I'm going to go too deep. 2-horse Highland Beach Lover and Pacino Hanover. 8th race, here come the singles. Macapello Sealster, and then the race number 9, I'm going to single Bold Spirit.
Okay. So there's a look at Randy's ticket, pick 6 ticket. We agree on a couple of legs too. 2-9, I am going to go in race 7. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to use Highland Beach Lover and Pacino Hanover, the same two that you use. I'm just hoping we're not at a pace disadvantage. Because there's 3-year-olds or not, I think there's some horses that are going to be leaving out of there. And I'm hoping that maybe we can work out a pretty good trip. But I found the last leg to be a little bit tricky. I think Bold Spirit the one to beat, but I did want to throw in a couple of other rivals. I'm all in on All My Wishes. I'm going to hope that maybe I can work out a winning trip, but I've just taken a stand there. That's all. Just I know it's going to be tough to beat Macapello Sealster. You're going to opt to single that one. I think both fillies coming in sharp. There's no denying that. So either or, whoever wins that race, I wouldn't be surprised. But a lot of 2s in terms of contenders here for me this evening. And similar to my pick 5 ticket there, but just the one single for me. So a good carryover opportunity to play the pick 6. Hopefully it can turn out to be a nice payout, though. There's some horses. If horses get beat in some of those legs, Randy, we're gonna get a good return.
Even that one leg that we were kind of talking a little bit about there, like it's again, you like All My Wishes. I like Macapello Sealster, but I think Jody's picking himself up a Big really time. Live drive with Cafe Olay. If these other horses do a little bit too much work and he gets cute with her, she's going to come flying on the end of it.
Yeah, all right. There's a look at our thoughts there for that pick 6 sequence, and we're going to touch on our plays of the night. And I believe you're up first, Randy, so let's take us through your selection.
Of course I'm up first. Age before beauty, my friend.
Always.
Yeah? Okay, so here we go. All In is going... No, Worth a Look's going to start this off in race number 1, Full of Colors. All In, One Last Wish in race 3. Race 4, Beat the Favorite. It's going to be Tells on a Roll. Waples Watch, Pacino Hanover from the 9 hole in race number 7.
You and I both hoping Travis can have a pretty good night tonight.
Yes.
I got him on top for a few races. You've got him pegged in pretty highly as well on a couple of rivals as well. So you've got some value players all across your plays board. My pick 5 single, One Last Wish. Nothing fancy about that. My double up, All My Wishes, hoping that one can get the job done. Worth a look. Better not mock me.
It's an interesting one.
I think a mare who hasn't raced as bad as the lines indicate. If she works out a good trip, I think she could play the role of upsetter. My best bet,
I like
Smiling Dancer. Just must be, I'm sure they expect the connections expected more from Smiling Dancer.
Didn't McNair pick him up tonight?
It's Trevor Henry.
Trevor Henry,
Just been unlucky, obviously missing some time, some tough trips. trip. So this is a horse who's got so much talent and speed.
Completely agree with
I'm
you.
hoping he can work out a pretty good trip here and get himself back into the winner's circle.
Where did you use backup plan?
I used him for third. I just didn't love the way he looked the last couple of tries.
I agree with you there. I went Smiling Dancer in for second. I went backup, but what I do like is the shoeing change coming in on him. Aluminum to steel in front.
Okay.
That's a much sounder, easier, forgiving shoe.
I think that if that's the case, I think that'll
could help him.
Could help him because he hasn't looked comfortable the last couple of
But
tries.
that's a pretty nice horse that you picked too.
Most definitely there. A nice way to close out the card. A competitive race. We've got some ideas from some other handicappers as well. Caviar and Crackers for Ghislaine. Rebound. Spot play for Kevin Plaucha. All my wishes. He's in agreement with me there. And Garnet Barnsdale's spot play better. Deal me in there. So he's going to try
Garnet's
and aim
on the Jody Cullen thing, is same as you and I.
Yeah, we're all aboard here. We're hoping for a big night. All right, so we're hoping for some good action here on this Saturday night program. We've got 11 races that are going to be underway in about 8 minutes or so. We've also got some Pocono action, a couple of more stakes that we're going to preview. Stick around and we're going to show them right on this broadcast.